Hey guys, how are you all doing on this fine afternoon? I think most of you, if you read my community post, know the current situation I find myself in today. I'm going to keep today's video very brief and to the point, for I lack the strength or ability to fully focus on all the subjects I wanted to discuss in today's segment prior to those devastating news I received. We have some rather interesting developments happen today in regards to inflation that I want to discuss with you guys. I have mentioned many times on this channel that I believe inflation to be the most possible factor to set us off into a squeeze, as it could pose a market crash that would force all hedge funds and friends to be forced into margin calls to such proportions that they won't be able to cover and delay their malpractice and manipulation anymore. We have some rather juicy little updates and events that I also want to share. As such, before we begin, let me make the disclosure that I am not a financial analyst or advisor, and that all contents discussed in this video are provided as opinions to better understand and grasp the current situation we all face. Everything presented as evidence I collect, and all opinions are based on my own research, experience and knowledge on the matter. I want to thank all my one-time donors and my Patreons, whose support has allowed this channel to blossom the way it has. If you find today's content to be informative and helpful, I ask that you consider dropping a like, as it will help the video reach more people. With that out of the way, let's dive straight into today's content. First and foremost, inflation rates were released today. Prices increased by 5.4% last month compared with a year earlier, the Labor Department's Consumer Price Index showed on Wednesday. This is yet another month that goes in a row with inflation being over 5%. An important thing to note here is that this marks the first time in the past 20 years, going back to 2008, that we had 3 years in a row report inflation number over 5%. The White House remains optimistic, saying that they will be taking new steps to lower prices at the pump and the grocery store, with Biden quoting that his plan will crack down on what some major players are doing in the economy that are keeping prices higher than they need be. I will not dive into politics because they are useless, but it is important to note that though Biden might want to implement some efforts into fixing this issue, these are simple patch trying to stop a sinking boat. The problems in the economy overall are massive, with so many problems all over the place, from housing to jobs and debt, that doing small remedies does nothing but delay the inevitable. We talked in depth about this a little while ago on a previous video, but essentially inflation as well as a dividend NFT are currently the best options and catalysts at the moment that could set us off to the moon. I took this news rather sad overall for the implications for millions of people, but at the same time as reassurance in my determination to hold GME and AMC even more. These two stocks represent the best hedge against market conditions because on a poor crashing market, they are separated by the factors that bring everything else down. Their prices and value are independent in many ways, and as such they can literally only gain when everything else collapses. An interesting thing came out today regarding trading data that came out yesterday. We know that on Monday, AMC CEO Adam Aron spelled doom and nightmare upon Wall Street naysayers and FUD spreaders. He beat estimate and expectations during the earnings call on the after hours of the market on Monday. As such, expectations for trading performance for both GME and AMC stocks were met when on Tuesday, when both stocks undid much of the gains they had previously attained. We know hedge funds manipulate these stocks and have algorithms and trading computers set to defeat small surges due to catalysts and unexpected events so as to keep prices as levels that they can best control so as not to get margin calls by the DTCC. Today, we have some interesting data that better shows a picture of what exactly happened yesterday and what hedge funds did to defeat the price the way they do. Above all, over 61% of the volume for the AMC stock was shorted. An incredible number considering the massive amount of institutional ownership rising for the stock. As if this wasn't enough, 61% of the volume was traded in alternative trading systems, or dark pools. Of course, GameStop was also victim to such manipulation. Short volume experienced by the stock accounted for 66%, an incredibly overwhelming number. Their infinite money glitch might work now, but nothing lasts forever. Now that we know how they are operating, all we have to do is buy and hold. They are the ones with the problems having to manage and hide their actions, so do not stress too much over the dip. The Fed reported that reverse repo operations for today resulted in over $1 trillion again. As dictated, the rise on average to $1 trillion was coming, and you can continue to expect it to rise over time as well. AMC's dark pool transactions accounted for 61% of the total volume, while GameStop dark pool transactions accounted for 44% of the total volume today. According to Fidelity data, Buy order flow for AMC was twice as big than the sell order flow, with GameStop's buy order flow being over 3 times as big as the sell order flow. Now, let us finish up with a recap today's performance. AMC began the day trading relatively neutral. The stock traded slightly below the VWAP until it had a dip that brought it down to 31.25. The stock then appeared to recover quite effectively. Upon market opening, AMC had a massive dip to 30.50, which can easily be attributed to a short attack. The stock then bounced up and reached the upper band of VWAP before falling down again. However, on the second attempt to bounce up, AMC was met with a short ladder attack that left it reeling back down and breaking the strong support it had built at 30.50. AMC then entered a descending triangle, where it momentarily broke support before quickly going back to the parameters. AMC shocked me when it then decided to break the resistance and start moving up. The stock continued moving up for the rest of the day, having small periods of consolidation in between each surge. The stock ended at 31.55, well above the VWAP, even though the stock ended the day losing a little bit in performance under yesterday. Like I said, today we had our first time breaking the $30 support, reaching a 29 support wall. Hedge funds want to dip us below 30 by Friday, so if you are thinking about buying more AMC, keep a lookout for an opportunity. GameStop also experienced a loss in gains today, but by less than 1%. The stock traded almost identical to AMC, showing that the trading algorithms that manipulate the price for the stocks is the same for both and works in perfect harmony. The stock experienced a dramatic fall upon opening only to have a sudden surge. However, the surge did not reach the opening price for GME and fell once again. The surges reached a lower resistance wall repeatedly until it broke the support and dipped below 155. GameStop then switched directions and started trading bullishly, much like AMC. The stock would rise and have small retracements where it would consolidate a bit before rising once again. The stock continued doing this until close, where it reached 158.78, above the VWAP. Again, the goal from hedge funds is to dip this below 155, which it tested today. I do think that they will have a harder time getting this below that price in comparison to AMC. However, that does not mean they will not dip it below their goal. Stay patient, stay true and buy to hold, hoping for the best and expecting the worst. And with that, I want to ask you guys to let me know how you feel about the video. I must ask that you forgive me for the low quality and quantity of stuff I covered today. I just lost my father today and I cannot concentrate on anything right now as I am grieving with my mother at this unexpected loss. I want to thank you all for all the love and support you give me. I have shown her the lovely messages and support and prayers you guys have sent, and it has helped tremendously on this most painful process. I will try to see how I feel tomorrow, but I am going to keep videos very to the point, addressing only the important stuff without much DD drops for this week. I have a very special video I was aiming to release tomorrow, but given the current circumstances, I will have to delay that to next week. Thank you all on behalf of my family. Big shout out to all the Patreons and one-time donators, whose contributions have carried this channel and everyone who watches it. Links will be in the description if you want to become an active member and help support this channel. Remember to follow me on Twitter if you haven't already, and I hope to see you guys on the next one. To the moon.